Hello there, and what I'd like to talk to you about today is the use of breakout rooms in Zoom meetings. It's a brilliant function, which is a great way to get a little bit more collaboration and a little bit more dynamism into your meetings. I believe it's only available from the Pro version upwards. The Pro version is the £15 a month package, and they do have to be switched on in the settings. So I'll show you later on where to go into the settings to make sure your breakout rooms are enabled. By default, they're switched off, so you might not be able to find them straight away, but they're very easy to use, and it's, like I said, a great way to add a little bit of extra to meetings that might feel a little bit static otherwise. I've got two attendees currently, so attendee 1 and attendee 2 up here. Obviously you may well have more. If we have a look at the bottom of my bar, I'm the host of the meeting, I'm in charge of it. Breakout rooms can be managed by hosts and co-hosts. If we go down to the breakout rooms button here and give it a click, we've got the initial setup. So what we will be doing is we'll be creating the number of breakout rooms that we want. So let's say I've got, I don't know, 15 people on my course, and I want groups of 3 in 5 rooms. Let's say, so that'd be groups of 3 people in 5 rooms. So I'd create 5 rooms, and it will automatically assign 3 people to each room. So you'll decide the number of rooms depending on the size of the people attending, and also the size of the groups you want them to be in. In this case, I only have 2 attendees, so I am going to create 2 rooms. And assign automatically means when I hit the create button, Zoom will just randomly assign an appropriate number of people to each room. So 15 people with 5 rooms, it'll assign 3 people to each room. If you've got 16 people with 5 rooms, there'll be a room of 4, and the rest will be rooms of 3. It'll make those decisions for you, and it's a great way to kind of mix it up and get a random feel to it. However, if you do want specific people in specific rooms, you simply do the assign manually button. When you hit create, it will give you a list of your attendees, and you can pop them into rooms. You can actually pre-create breakout rooms in your scheduled meetings, but I'll show you how to do that later on when we look at all the settings anyway. And let participants choose room. That means the participants, funnily enough, can choose the room they want to go into. So currently I have 2 rooms assigned, and I'm just going to hit the create button. It tells you again 1 participant per room at the bottom here. If I create that now, no one's gone anywhere yet. So at the moment I can see room 1, I could rename it to whatever I want to be. It could be, well, anything you like. Something funky, something cool, or something more descriptive of what the room or the group is supposed to be discussing. I can delete a room if I've got too many, or I want to have more people in the rooms later on. I've also got a couple of other things I can do. So for instance, attendee 1 here, I've got move to. So I hover over the people in each room or who've been assigned to rooms, and I could move, if I click on that, I could currently move attendee 1 to room 2. Obviously, if I had more rooms, I'd be able to send them to room 3, room 4, room however many rooms I've got. I've also, click off that, got the option to exchange. So I can exchange attendee 1 for attendee 2, but obviously if I had more rooms and more people, I could swap people out if I wanted to do that. So those are some of the elements you've got. And also in the options screen here, you've got allow participants to choose room. What we've got, automatically move assigned participants into breakout rooms. We've got breakout rooms close automatically after 30 minutes. That is something, I think if I click into that, I will then be able to change that to, for instance, 60 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, however long you want those rooms to notify when time is up. There's usually a minute countdown that you get for those rooms. So there is a lot of flexibility on countdown after closing a breakout room at 60 seconds. And you've got various options. And you'll see that in action in a moment anyway. So now all I need to do is to open all rooms. And I'm going to switch to a participant screen so you can see what it looks like from the participant's perspective. So I'm going to open all rooms now. All participants are invited to join breakout rooms. And I'm going to switch now to the screen which is showing attendee number 1. Right, so this is what it looks like for attendee number 1. It's going to be very irritating because there's a picture of me and there's lag, so I'm going to be completely unlip-synced, but I apologize for that. Michael Nars is inviting you to join room 2. So all I need to do is to hit the join button. and I am joining room 2. Depending on your internet connection, it can take a little while to get in, also the age of your computer, but we can see now that attendee 2 is all on their own, so bless them, within room 1. They can share screens, they can chat, they can ask for help, and there's some more options here as well, and the option to leave the room if they're ready to leave. Obviously, what you would see now is a nice gallery view. There were 5 or 6 people in there of all of the people in that room. I'm going to swap back now to the host screen so you can see some of the things that the host can do whilst people are in rooms. As a host, you can see what's going on in each of the rooms. So room 1, attendee 1, room 2, attendee 2. And you can broadcast a message to everyone. Could be 5 minutes left, for instance. You can close all of the rooms instantaneously, and you'll see how that looks from the perspective of one of the attendees in a moment. But you can also join the room. So if you have set a particular goal for people, a particular thing for people to do, say 5 minutes to or 15 minutes to discuss a topic, you can actually join those rooms if you want to get some feedback, ask if there's any questions, to offer a little bit of support. So I'm going to join room 2 right now, and then you can see what that looks like from attendee 2's perspective. So if I hit join here and join room 2, again, depending on your internet connection, depending on the power of your laptop, this can take a little bit of time. So I'm now going to go to, here we go. So we can now see, there's attendee 2, go to gallery view. I am now in a breakout room with attendee 2, with a little bit of lag on the way I'm talking, but now I can interact with attendee 2. They can see me, we can chat, we can talk, we can, whatever, get feedback. When I want to leave that room, I simply, as a host, here's my host page, let's maximize that. I just hit the leave room button. Leave breakout room. And now I will be returning to the main screen, and the attendees can continue talking and interacting within their breakout rooms. Okay, just make me bigger again. And here are the breakout rooms still going on. I'm back. I can have a cup of tea. I can have a relax while everyone's having a chat within the breakout rooms. Let's move that out of the way again. And then I will just hit the close all rooms button. If I want them to come back into the main screen, we hit close all rooms. Okay, and if I go again back to attendee 2, they will either have the option to wait out the timer. When that timer counts down to 0, they will automatically be kicked out of the room back into the main session, or we can hit and choose to return to the main session straight away, which I will do. And there we go. And I will also allow this person leave now, which is my other attendee 1. So we can see attendee 2 now is back in the main room. Let's get me back up, as is also attendee 1. So we're all back together in the main Zoom function, so we can carry on. I can carry on, close down the rooms. Now, let's say this is a longer session and you want to go back into a breakout room. Very simple. You just hit the breakout rooms button, and you can either just open the rooms again, and what will happen is all of the people will remain in the rooms they were previously, and can carry on their discussions. You can add an additional room if you want to, or you can hit the recreate button. And what recreate allows you to do is to recreate the room. So you can create or add more rooms, or this time you might want assign automatically means those rooms will have random people added to them, so you get a little bit of a mix up in terms of the next session. You don't have to have the same groups all the time. You can assign manually, or you can let participants choose their own room. Hit the recreate button and everyone gets sent back into the appropriate rooms, or invited to join the appropriate rooms. So I'm just going to click off that, and that's mechanically how it works and how it looks. It is a very simple thing to do, and it can add a huge amount of value to meetings in terms of making people feel a little bit more involved, able to build more rapport with the people around them, and also allow you to get in. And if it is a training course or a meeting, you can check understanding, you can get some feedback, and you're doing it in a smaller scale rather than talking to 30, trying to get 30 people to interact with you directly. You can break them up and you can have smaller bits of interaction. Again, great way to build rapport, and a great way to make your Zoom meeting feel less virtual and a little bit more personal. So now I'm going to go and show you how to set up breakout rooms in your settings to ensure you've got them switched on, how to choose how participants can share screens within meetings, and also how to add people, create rooms when you schedule a meeting. So when you start the meeting, all the breakout rooms are already there and ready to go for you. So to set up your breakout rooms, you do need to be on the browser version of Zoom. So log into your Zoom account on Google Chrome, and you will go to the account section. And what we've got here is settings. Now, if I click into the settings on the side here, hopefully what you can see is we've got all the basic settings here. And I'm going to scroll through and show you where to go. So you've got your waiting room options, your passcodes, etc. But breakout rooms are an addition. So if we go in meeting advanced, you've got breakout rooms. Now this is it's not switched on by default. So you will need to go into the settings and select breakout rooms and sliders across there. Allow host to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling. So one of the things you are able to do is, if you know who your attendance list is, you can schedule the meeting, and then within the meeting itself, you can assign or have people already assigned to breakout rooms before the meeting even starts. In fact, I'll give you a quick show of where that is when you schedule a meeting in a second. So this is what you need to do to enable your breakout rooms. You also need to do the same to use polls, which are switched off by default. So scroll through, find the thing about polls if you want to use them, because they're a great way to gain interaction and check understanding of things for people, and they're very, very simple to add. And there is another video I've done on how to do polls. Anyway, so do look at that on the channel. Also, you need to enable sharing. So in your meeting, basic meeting, you will have sharing. So I've just got to find where it is in here. Meeting polls, screen sharing. Here we go. So allow host and participants to share their screen during meetings while you've got an off, obviously here. What you can do is who can share. So all participants, or I can put that to host only. So if it's on host only, no one other than me will be able to share a screen. So if you're in breakout rooms, or if you're in a meeting and you want people to be able to share, you are going to have to either make sure that this is switched on, so everyone can share, but also what you will be able to do is you can make people either co-hosts or transfer host over to them in the meeting, and they will automatically be able to screen share. You can also restrict certain files that you can share as well, and you can see who can start sharing when someone else is sharing. Well, if someone else is sharing, I can hit the share button, override them only at the moment on this setting, or all participants would mean that anyone can interrupt someone else's sharing with their share. I've got that switched off as a trainer. Generally, I don't want people interrupting what I'm sharing, because I'll be sharing important information slides as part of the course that I'm running. But those are the bits that you want to make sure are properly sorted out on your settings before you go out and start creating the breakout rooms. So what I'll do now is I'll show you where you go to assign individuals to breakout rooms prior to the meeting. So this is the meeting scheduler, which you may well be familiar with. And I think I do have a video on how to schedule meetings as well, so please do check that out. But you can see you can put all of these bits and pieces in. And because I've got breakout rooms activated, what you should be able to see here is breakout rooms pre-assign. So if I know who my list is, and I know that I'm going to use breakout rooms, and I know who I want to be in particular rooms with each other, I can tick that box, and I can do create rooms. So in here, I will be able to create any number of rooms. So I can breakout room 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then in here, I can add the participants. And what you do is you add the email address that person is coming in from. It will recognize the email address. So if you know their email addresses, put their email addresses in. And the thing is, as soon as you hit the create rooms, that will just go, and they're there already. You're not having to do anything random. You're not having to kind of assign them on the way. That is a great setup if you already know who's coming and what groups you want them to be in. So that's just an additional feature that you have through through the breakout room features when you are scheduling an event. I hope this has been useful anyway. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn, please do give it a thumbs up or a reaction. That's great. Feel free to share the link to anyone who you think might find it useful. Have a fabulous day. Take care. Stay safe. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye for now.